waiting. Are you ready? I'm ready. It is time to crown ourselves a world champion. There go the lights.
And it's lights out and away we go.
Wow, everyone seems to be away really well. CallumUltra moving all the way to the left-hand side. He's starting on medium tyres, so isn't going to quite have the same level of traction as grip as some of the cars behind him, but he makes a good, clean getaway. Flecky behind him. P2, Snacks in third. Moss fourth. Seems a top five, and everywhere else holding position at the minute. A quick overtake between Blocky and Fresh Agent, swapping round in fifth and sixth. At the minute, it's a little bit of a procession. Snacks making a move and getting past Flecky and Moss having a good battle as well. These guys are chopping and changing at the minute. We're going to ride on board with WKD Moss. Has Flecky got enough? As my controller decides to die.
Leeroy,
oh my goodness me, the worst possible time. And we're back. We are back. Flecky. Oh my goodness me, the worst time for that to happen. Leeroy indeed up into P8, making a good position change. Oh, Moss getting really aggressive, looking to take that place back. He was holding it for a good while. That slipstream and the early phases of the race is going to chop and change a little bit. This is the time to make up some positions, but big pressure is going to be on CallumUltra. He is starting on medium tyres. You guys will be able to see now the position changes. Mellow cover up 4 places, with Leeroy up 3, VXR making up 2, MK2 Ellis a bit further down making up 3 spots. But wow, Leeroy now moving up the grid. We know he's got good race pace. Moss and Flecky having another brilliant battle. Moss throws it round the outside. What an unbelievable move that was to try and get past Flecky. Makes it stick. Flecky drives more than professionally. Leaves the space, but he's going to make a little lunge down on the inside as well. He manages to get past Moss again. These two chopping and changing positions. Like, I don't know what. This is phenomenal. A virtual safety car deployed. Mr. Nobody with the DNF.
Mr. Nobody's off at turn 1.
Wow. Wow. It is all happening at the beginning, folks. Leeroy making up those all-important positions at the start of the race. We'll go back. We can see he's currently sitting P7. Now, all he needs is a P6 or above, and he comes home with the Drivers World Championship. So no doubt he'll be looking to get past Mello in the restart after the virtual safety car.
You've got to think Leroy's in a very good position. Don't forget, obviously going out, he only used 1 set of soft tyres in Q1. He went out on mediums in sector 2.
We're back underway now.
Good news for him. Well, yeah, with Leeroy though, with brand new set of softs on, I think, if I'm right in thinking, that may potentially set up a soft to medium 1-stop for Leeroy. Both sets being brand new, I think it's possible.
Would you want to risk it? This is the interesting thing, though.
He's in
but
position. He just has to mimic whatever happens in front of him, and he should take one. That's all he needs to do at this point.
He needs 1 overtake with DRS enabled as well, and with those fresh soft tyres, the brand new soft tyres, it must be said. And no doubt he's going to be looking to get past Mello.
Mellos aren't new at all.
The battle still resumes between WKD Moss and Flecky, though. These guys are not letting up at all. With DRS now enabled, Moss is going to be getting a very nice tow. Not enough on this now. Oh my goodness! That's a great little switchback. He's now side by side, but he's going to have to yield through this corner. Wow, these guys are just trading positions. This is allowing a Blocky to get involved.
Yep.
Although he's on medium tyres, he's starting to catch them up just a little bit.
Mello and Leeroy aren't too far away. Leeroy just had
Really
a move on Mello. Mello tucked it out around the outside. Leeroy very, very sensibly just thought, you know what, I'm not going to risk anything here.
It's now getting really close here, top 6. Really close. Oh my goodness me.
Closing in on CallumUltra as well. As I said, CallumUltra has to forget about Leeroy really. Wherever Leeroy will finish will be what it be. But at the moment, he's got to beat Snacks.
And to make things a little bit harder for CallumUltra, ideally he needs the fastest race lap as well. Currently held by Snacks, but certainly as the race goes on and different strategies play out, you know, he's no doubt going to have to try and see if he can gain that extra point. He's in a good position to do it though.
Yeah, he's obviously starting on the mediums, so he's going to be on the faster tyres later on. So he's got a good chance of that fastest lap. But yeah, I mean, for the best chance, he needs to win with the fastest lap. That's his best shot. If he just wins with no fastest lap, that's when you start taking into account like sort of wins and pole positions and stuff. That's how we work that out. But
fresh agent, time penalty.
Yeah, 3 seconds for cutting. As I say, that's the risk you take. He's probably tweaked one in the other corners, but that compromises you to all the others because they all lead into each other.
Oh no, there's a big Blocky and Mello getting close.
Oh, Leeroy did very, very well to avoid that.
Wow. Blocky is on the medium tyres, so you'll be able to see here the in the detail the tyre that the guys are on. So you can see Blocky is currently on medium tyres. You see the gap to each other. Moss and Flecky trading places yet again. Oh my goodness me, they are side by side through sector 1. These guys have had some unbelievable scraps over the past few weeks. Wow, Leeroy is now in position to take home the championship. If it was to end now, he would be crowned the season 1 winner. Oh, Moss looking to make a bit of a move around the outside, maybe a cutback, a good blip of hers. He's side by side.
Fastest lap at the moment, so Snacks currently has fastest lap.
Look at the battle between these two. It's going to become Moss's corner.
Snacks all over the back of CallumUltra now.
Oh, look at this. Flecky holding it around the outside. Has he got enough? I think he does. Moss is not going to give it up too easily. But Flecky positioning his car so that he is the lead car into the next corner. Oh, Moss is really coming back at him though. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, fantastic.
Phenomenal between
these guys. A lot
of
respect there.
Absolutely. They've been racing together a good while. They understand where they're going to defend, where they're going to push. With the gap between Snacks and Flecky as well. Flecky will not have a DRS. You can see him moving about, trying to get out of the slipstream. But Leeroy is just starting to edge a bit closer as well into that fight.
Blocky. Relatively easy pass it was. See, being on quicker tyres, Blocky just didn't have the grip to fight it.
Snacks as well, really, really racy behind CallumUltra. But this is the thing, we're now on lap 6 of 28. So those soft tyres are going to begin degrading heavily. I think for a 2-stop, I think lap 8 was around about the first opportunity to jump in for that particular pit window. So maybe being on those medium tyres now is starting to come into effect and allow him to keep that gap. Moss has now managed to comfortably get past Flecky as well. But knowing Flecky, he won't let that stand. Leeroy starting to get in on the action a little bit too. Blocky's not too far behind. Mello a little bit further back. UK Assassin and MK2 Ellis in P9 and 8 respectively. Ellis not doing too badly. He started on medium tyres as well. He's made up a lot of positions. Started P15 I believe and is now up into P8. But Lord Vader has already pitted, is now on 2-lap-old hard tyres. So it looks like he's been caught up in an accident somewhere, or maybe an early pit stop. He'll be looking to get a little bit higher up the grid. VXR's also pitted recently, as has Agent as well. So a few people a bit further down.
All three of them came in to have new front wings. Agent and Vader took a set of hard tyres. VXR had started on the hards, so he's currently on a set of medium tyres. But yeah, all three of them in early for a front wing change.
So a few little scraps and incident in the opening quarter of this race. Blocky gets a time penalty. Multiple warnings for corner cutting, it seems. Obviously pushing the envelope a little bit. Certainly through sector 1, it's easily done. But too many warnings. Is this Snacks looking to make a go? Oh, he thought about it.
He did. He had a little look, didn't he?
Oh, that was what that was.
And thought better of it.
God, there's a peek, there's a look, and then there's pretty much like bursting down the door. Whoa! Look at that. The rear of his car, though, really
this is
sideways.
where they will hurt these soft tyres going away on an already traction limited part. Dave, I'll tell you what, anybody who is betting on, you had £5 for every time I'm going to say traction limited this race, you'd be a millionaire by now, I think.
Rundle Bingo would have won it for you by now, I'm sure.
Yeah, AJ Bingo, yeah, traction limited.
But this is the thing, this is where you can start playing with the differential a little bit. You can go a little bit higher on the diff just to slow down the rotation of the car. As you can see, the pit window now opens. Lap 8 to 11 for those that began on soft tyres. So we'll see how long they are going to extend their opening soft tyre stint. If I was Snacks right now, I've got nothing to lose, so I'd look to throw everything at this. However, you also know that you are going to be coming into the pit lane. You know, you aren't, even if you do make the overtake stick, you're not going to be on them for long. But the mediums do seem to be the best race tyre right now. They seem to be more than holding their own.
Before, there's not a lot of difference between the mediums and hards. They're both great race tyres around here. It's only the softs that don't really live up to much. Not quite to the extent that we see at places like Singapore or Spain.
True. Oh, he's looking again.
But they're still not a fantastic race tyre to be on.
Yeah, there he is catching. He knows that he's going to have to come into the pit lane, but
we had a little look at Moss there. There's a DRS train all aboard the Flecky train right now.
The Flecky at the front of the pack.
Flecky is on. He's on soft tyres. Okay, so Blocky's the only one out of this group that is on mediums. Which is
mediums, Wookie. That's what you mean.
At them.
It is a definite DRS train, isn't it? Flecky though, just putting out the gap a little bit on Moss. It's not far off a second. There's Moss.
Oh, another 3 seconds for Moss.
Penalty.
Yeah. As he comes into the pit as well.
He does indeed.
It's very, very misleading. You get sucked in to dive into that pit entry, but it's very, very easy to get a penalty because that does actually count as a corner by the regulations, so it is suspect to all the track limits.
So Musk goes on to another set of soft tyres.
Yeah, so Moss pushing the aggressive 2, so he's going soft, medium.
Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. We've not had any full course safety cars at the minute, purely virtual with Mr. Nobody's retirement a little bit earlier on. But Leeroy now in P4, got to be sitting relatively comfortably, just looking to have, I'm sure he'll be hoping for a quiet race, I'd imagine. It's certainly what I'd be hoping for in his position.
He doesn't have to do anything special. He's actually, he can afford to lose 2 places and still be champion at this point. It's absolutely nothing that he needs to do right now other than just sit.
It's certainly not a bad position for him to be in. You've got Blocky behind him as well with a time penalty 2. We do have a yellow flag in sectors 1 and 2. Not sure what's happening there. A battle at the minute though. Is there?
Stationary Renault at the start of the
he's now spun
towards the end.
That's a big
lit up those tyres too much.
That's a big spin. He's now back on the racetrack. Thankfully, there's enough space behind
him. Those mediums down.
He really needs to cool them down. He's got his ERS activated as well, which is just putting even more power through that. It's making the car impossible to steer. Way too much temperature. He's still got the ERS on. I'm not sure if he can hear us, but it's going to become interesting. I don't think there's any cars that are starting to get too close to him, but definitely struggling with that Renault a little bit.
He'll be helped out in a little minute.
Turn your ERS off!
Oh, yeah, he's going to be helped out in a minute because the battery's going to run out. So it will
Snacks
turn
his
it
box
off for him. But
as well.
Oh, who's that? That's Blocky very, very deep. Missed his picking point completely there.
Oh, really? Yeah, you can see that gap to Leeroy is massively grown. These front runners are starting to catch up with Redding as well. So Snacks is pitted and gone onto a brand new set of soft tyres as well. That makes things a bit interesting in terms of the final stages of this race. It is exciting. I'm glad you're enjoying. I'm looking to see if anyone is going to swap to the hards in the top 10. I'm intrigued to see if anybody looks to try and go the ultimate distance on the hard tyres and see if it helps them out a little bit. Redding picks up a time penalty for corner cutting as well. Not a good race for him so far. So we've got Mertzy P14, Agent 13, Assassin 12th, VXR, also a time penalty in P11 with Vader P10. That's some great battles.
What'll be interesting here is the gap between CallumUltra and Snacks. Snacks is obviously pitted early, to be on fresher medium tyres. Or did he go to softs? I didn't even see what
Snacks went to softs.
So he went on another set of softs. Okay, that's interesting.
Now Leeroy as well is on a 10-lap old soft tyres as well, as is Flecky in front. You can just tell by the way they're going through Sector 1 there. They're nursing them a little bit. They're trying not to put too much effort and energy through them. You can see as well, certainly on the front left, you can see the graining. You can see the tyre wear, so he's going to start to struggle. Blocky catching them a little bit with medium tyres. But these guys are going to be looking to extend these soft tyres as long as they can. Maybe come into the pits, put hard tyres on, go to the end.
Yeah, they're looking for a gap, aren't they?
It's an option.
Yeah, well, there's a logical gap around where Moss is. Obviously, they may obviously Moss has come into pit, so they might get dumped by Moss, but there's going to be a big gap behind Moss, which is currently filled by MK2, Ellis and Butters. They haven't pitted. So as soon as they go away, there's a big sort of 10-second gap behind Moss that they can slot into.
Both Flecky and Leeroy go again. They're going around the circus again. Snacks fastest lap, a 33.798.
Leeroy is, and to an extent actually, a lot of the guys as well. As long as they didn't use too many tyres in Q1, because obviously the second session and the third session were mainly caused by rain. So Flecky and Leeroy, if they're going over halfway here, it could be very, very interesting to sit on a set of mediums and comfortably go the distance.
I'm intrigued. So Wookie Guy is predicting a pit stop at lap 12 to 14ish. It sounds about right to me. I think lap 12-13 is probably your best bet, but it remains to be seen what are they going to look to do from there. Do they go onto hard tyres? They maybe try and extend a set of mediums just to sort of keep decent pace. What will be interesting is how long CallumUltra goes on this opening set of medium tyres. Does he, as the current race winner, or race leader I should say, and with a 9-second gap behind him, arguably a lot longer considering the amount. Well, we're going to find out what he's going to do here. Does he go onto hard tyres and go all the way to the end? Or does he maybe go for a couple sets of softs? to go to the end. We're going to find out and see what he's thinking strategy-wise.
Yeah.
It looks soft tyres it is.
It's soft. Yeah, so he's looking to do a medium soft. Which is interesting. Let's see what Leeroy and Co go on to.
It seems to be his
Flecky's on a set of mediums. Leeroy's on a set of mediums. I'm very, very
As
surprised
Leeroy,
that CallumUltra hasn't been able to take those mediums more than 12 laps. That surely can't be wear related.
No.
Given that the boys behind him have taken 12 laps on soft.
Well,
so
this is the thing.
Maybe call, I think.
Maybe with the sort of the opening salvo being what it was and trying to defend from Snacks, maybe he's pushed those mediums a little bit more.
Maybe he's taking more out than he wanted to. Yeah.
Or maybe with what's left, you're talking what? Just over another 13 laps. You could easily do a twos, another pit stop and a double set of softs quite easily and have good pace. So maybe that's what he's doing it for. He's going to push hard on a set of soft tyres here and go for the fastest lap towards the end, maybe.
Possibly.
Leeroy back in position though. Gets the move done on Ellis.
He would have been he would have been in a great position for fastest lap, even if he'd strung out those mediums as far as he could, and then because he'd be one of the few people on soft tyres. Regardless of how new they're going to be at that point, so the fuel's come off. So you got to think that he'd have been only about one of three people on soft tyres at the end of the race.
Mertzy and Agent having a bit of a battle at the minute.
Right, so who is this? Flockey's coming in. His mediums have done 12 laps or 13 laps as well. Very, very interesting. I expected the mediums to do a lot more than sort of 12 or 13, unless this is sort of strategic calls by the boys, but...
It's a very good battle for the remaining points positions. Mertzy and Agent having a really, really good battle. Butter's not too far behind. He's going to be having a look and trying to get involved in that, I'm sure, in the next few laps. Bit further down then, VXR on some brand new softs, a little bit of a race of his own at the minute. 13 seconds in front of him, 9 seconds behind him. It needs a few things to happen in front for him to be able to bring home a few points. Reading now in P15, still with the time penalties. A few of the front runners getting past him at the moment. I think Snacks and CallumUltra are past. Wicked Moss going to be the next. So Snacks at the minute is sitting on 3 lap old softs. He's obviously going to be finishing on medium tyres. But arguably the medium tyres are going to give you a really, really good tyre life. But also, let's not forget, at the end of the race, the car is going to be low on fuel. So it's going to be a bit easier to turn in. It will make it feel like it's got more grip. So it could end up being a really, really nice play between a car on medium tyres with that's light on fuel versus a car that's also light on fuel on soft tyres but with faster degrading tyre compounds fitted.
Yeah.
Could be a very interesting play. He's commanding it at the minute. CallumUltra though knows that he needs to get back in first place. Leeroy sitting P5 is taking home the championship. Pressure's on to really, really push on these soft tyres. But with the remaining laps left, I think you can quite comfortably do a nice sort of 7 lap stint on soft tyres. I think that would be the way I do it. 100%. 7 laps on a set. I think he's got enough at the minute. Oh, he's got more than enough.
The one man doing what I would do at this point is currently sat in 7th place, Mr. MK2 Ellis. He's still on his set of mediums. They're 14 laps old at the moment. He's still cruising round. And I'd be very, very interested to get some tyre percentage numbers from these boys from those the tyres they discarded, because I just can't believe that the mediums are only good for 12 laps. Mr. Ellis is showing that they're good for at least 15.
Yeah, more than fine. Oh, excuse me, more than fine. You can see with the soft tyres potentially able to do 11 laps, okay, albeit very cautiously. If you can push these medium tyres sort of a little bit nearer the 20 lap mark, you could be in for a nice little one stop here. Could bag yourself a few extra points for sure.
Yeah, well, the halfway mark is 14. So you've got to think that if the mediums can go past 14, some of the guys obviously on softs earlier in the race, they were pitting lap 11, lap 12. So knowing that is a thing, generally you only really need to get to lap 16, 17, and then it's kind of feasible. But yeah, you'd want to be sort of 18, 19, 20 to make sure.
We're having a ride on board with Butters at the minute, under half a second behind Fresh Agent, who's on 10-lap old hard tyres. Butters on relatively new mediums, only 2 laps old. Needs to be patient here. Oh, he goes for a big lunge that he cannot pull off. All he had to do there was wait for the DRS there. A little bit of racing experience maybe. But that was an easy move. Ready to be made, but just did it one corner too early.
Didn't he?
Well, Agent seems to be struggling though. Agent really looks to be struggling.
While we're on the subject of tyres, I will clarify what I was on about earlier. Only in qualifying we were talking about sort of 2 stops and the 1 stop isn't possible. That was assuming that they were using dry tyres all the way through qualifying.
Yes.
So obviously we have got people now that are attempting 1 stops, but that is only really possible because they've got brand new tyres, because they didn't use them in qualifying, because it was all wet. That's why the 1 stop is now possible, and that's why before qualifying I was saying I'd be surprised if I see any 2s.
Let's see if Butters has got enough in the tank to make the move here. Look at that overspeed, the fresh tyres, the DRS is getting rather close though. Oh, he's braking way too early. Oh, that was move done. Very, very cautious from Butters, it must be said. The move was good and done, just broke way too early.
Agent's tyres are not only harder, but they are they're also well older.
Significantly older. But look at this. What a fantastic shot that is from the helicopter cam as they come round the Turn 8 replica. The final few corners. Hopefully it stays on board on this camera angle all the way up the start-finish straight. Can Butters now make a lunge into turn 1? He's bound to have the DRS. He's got the ears. I don't think he's got enough to make it done. He doesn't.
No, you have to be very, very close coming out of that last corner. It's a very short straight. Even with DRS, it's not an easy place to overtake, especially given that the entrance to turn 1 is uphill. You can brake an awful lot later because gravity does a lot of the work for you. So that combined with a relatively short sort of pit straight, coupled with the exit speed out of that corner, it's tighter than 90 degrees. So the exit speed generally isn't there to make a kind of a longer gap work. You need to be very, very close.
At the minute, we're looking at Blocky, who's on soft tyres and is now, wow, only 3/10 behind Leeroy. I'm anticipating a move being made here. Although Blocky's got that time penalty, this should be rather straightforward. Leeroy doesn't need to fight it. He is more than happy in the position he's in. Comfortably takes home the championship even at this stage. CallumUltra, although he is in P1, he has a 3.5 second gap behind him. I'm intrigued to see when he's going to pull the trigger and come back in for another set of softs. His hope will be on that second set of softs he can post the fastest lap as well. He needs he needs every point he possibly can in a bid to win the championship. But Leeroy just needs P6 or above as Assassin gets disqualified for driving the wrong way. Obviously had a bit of an incident.
Was he trying to spin the car around and
I think
not
so.
really succeeding?
Obviously doing it in a bit of what's considered a bit of an unsafe fashion as the car pulls over to one side and puts itself out of the race. Not been the happiest season for Mr. Assassin, it must be said.
No. He has struggled. I know recently we've talked about this before, but he he has turned a few assists off as of late, just trying to push his performance up a little bit and challenge himself a little bit more. But unfortunately, it has resulted in a few more mistakes.
Absolutely. Flecky now. Where is Snacks has come into the pits from his second batch of softs. Now puts on the medium tyres. Comes out in P5, and I gotta say, is looking pretty racy to kick things off. He should be more than capable of going to the end on these medium tyres. Leeroy in a good position, P4. He's got 5-lap old mediums. Do you reckon he'll go to the end, or maybe a little last-minute ditch in for maybe another set of softs?
I mean, if I'm Leeroy, I'm just happy to sit there. I don't need. If I'm Leeroy, I don't need the fastest lap. I've got 2 positions in hand. Why would you then sort of risk all that for something going wrong on the set of softs? I mean, if he gets an opportunity and he can guarantee 6th place even with a pit stop, then you could argue a case. But for now, unless that is concrete, not at all.
I don't think you really want to. Oh,
he's picked up a penalty for cutting, though.
That's a little spanner into the works.
That pretty much rules out the late stop for Leeroy.
Oh my days! Wow, that was frighteningly close. CallumUltra coming out of the pits with Blocky and Flecky coming round turn 1. That
you've got to be very
really aggressive
in the pit lane there, because the game does not allow you to slow down, and where it spits you out, you have to give a car's width on the inside, accounting for the guy coming out of the pits. You can't expect to have a car coming out of the pits and take the apex there.
I saw that whole thing ending really, really badly there. So we got CallumUltra on brand new tyres. The 2 guys in front are on older and slower tyres. Is he going to look to get past 2 of them at once? He's waiting.
To be careful here, CallumUltra. He needs to win. You can't do that if you're buried in between 2 cars.
Let's stay on board. We're going to see what he does with Blocky and Flecky fighting it out. He's trying to be patient here.
This is a nightmare for CallumUltra.
It's going to be quite a long stint on this second set of softs, though.
Yep. Yeah, to feel comfortable, if I was CallumUltra, I would want to have stretched them out a couple more laps than that. He's pitted effectively the same time as Snacks, and he had 3 laps younger tyres than Snacks did.
That's it. Now him and Flecky are going to be side by side.
Leeroy letting Snacks through. Big old lift into that corner. Does not need to fight that at all. Leeroy has a 22-second gap to 6th place, which would still warrant him as champion. If you then include how far he's got a 30-second lead for P7, which that would be the place where he wouldn't be champion. So he's got a very, very nice buffer, as Mr. Leeroy. Does not need to do anything. Basically just can cruise to the end on these mediums. P5 will do.
This is getting really close for top 3 here. Flecky no doubt will be able to go all the way to the end on these mediums. I think that's what he's going to look to do, almost one-stop it and go all the way to the end.
I think only Blocky out of this lot, I think, will be pitting due to the state of their tyres. Everybody else, 4 of the top 5, they will be going to the end. So only Blocky's probably the only one who's going to pit.
This is getting a bit close now. Flecky is obviously going to the end. Snacks is on pretty much brand new mediums and is going to be wanting to get involved in the podium spot.
Yeah, he needs to be patient as well, bearing in mind that CallumUltra might have taken some life out of his tyres deciding what he's going to do about Flecky or Blocky.
This is close.
Snacks really needs to bite it. He doesn't want to take too long though, because CallumUltra's getting away.
This is the crucial part of the race now, folks, where the people that are doing 1 stops and the people that are doing 2 stops, their strategies have started to catch up. So it's going to get spicy. It's going to get really, really spicy. We're going to see just how patient these guys are.
Arguably, the guy that's pulled the biggest strategy card out, Mr. MK2 Ellis, he's been rewarded with that. He's in P6.
In P6, Vader
Fantastic
P7.
strategy by him.
It's not bad. I don't think it's going to be enough
both behind
for the
Leeroy.
constructors. That's it. It's going to be set for a really, really close finish. Ghost Cool Man, good to see you. Hello to you.
The Red Bull boys are struggling as well. They're 8 and 10, or now 9 and 10 as VXR passes Moss.
9-11. Wow. Mellow's making moves up the field. Snacks. Oh my goodness. So Snacks is looking to get past Blocky here on the inside. Can't get it done. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is the ultimate exercise in patience from all of these drivers. Flecky is phenomenal at defensive driving. Now, whilst you've got Blocky that is on quicker tyres, but they're about the same age. Is that a little collision there? I think Blocky trying to go around the outside. Snacks has said thank you very much. Able to get past.
Silly from Blocky. That's never going to work.
Fresh agent. Oh, Snacks though. Snacks taking way too much curb. Is now side by side with Blocky. Blocky's now got the DRS, but this is getting a bit dicey. Leeroy quite happy to sit in P5 and let this happen ahead of him. He's got a nice, quiet race behind him.
Yeah, Blocky, another 3 seconds penalty. That was deserved. That was a horrendous cut.
Pushing the envelope a little bit too much on the track limit. So Blocky now is at 6 seconds worth of penalties. He has got... may have the opportunity to get past Snacks here. Really good exit from Snacks though.
Flecky forcing him all the way to the left.
Wow.
Don't think I've ever seen a car that far left on this straight.
Oh, he should be able to hold it around the outside. Oh, he was quite patient on getting on the throttle there. Good to see. He's being really patient through here.
Gave Flecky the opportunity to close the door. And so it's very tempting in Snacks' position to have a little squirt and stick your nose in there and ends up getting bruised by the door that's then slammed in your face.
Well, this is it. It's amazing to see the patience being shown. I mean, he's having a little look. Again, just needs to wait till the DRS straight. He's more than close enough as a Blocky dives into the pit lane. This should be fairly cut and dry for Snacks here. He's so close to Flecky with the ERS and DRS and the newer tyres. Should be job done. Flecky's not going to let him have it easy though.
Give it up.
Oh no, he hits him!
Snacks had a little wobble on the exit. I was just about to say there's multiple lines through turn 1. It's very, very hard to defend if someone's right on you, but Snacks getting a little bit twitchy on the exit. He lost an end plate as well.
Outside on the curb, wasn't it? Just really on the AstroTurf and on the curb, and just trying to put the power down. It's just going to cause the rear of the car to spin round, cause the front of the car to come into Flecky's line, and it's taken a chunk of his wing. That being said, though, the car still looks like it's performing well. The tyre advantage will definitely help him. This should be pretty cut and dry here.
Pretty slam dunk, yeah. Yeah, you know it's close to 100%.
Oh, Leeroy!
Success rate when Flecky doesn't defend it. You know it's pretty much slam dunk.
Oh, but is it though? Leeroy's sort of getting a look, and Flecky's just starting to stick the nose in.
Yeah, well, this is where Snacks' front wing end plate missing is going to hurt him, because he's going to have so much more understeer than these guys through this section. Look how wide he is going through the turn 8 clone.
Both Flecky and Leeroy on 10-lap-old mediums. Arguably, though, with the gap behind Leeroy, he could pit now and still come out in a position to take the title. But with 4 laps to go, he's sitting pretty comfortable. CallumUltra is doing everything right though. He's leading the race. He's pushing hard. Not sure who currently holds the fastest lap.
It is Snacks still with a 33.7.
With the fastest lap at the minute, and with all the pit stops being done, can't see that being done. So CallumUltra may take home 25 points, with Leeroy being in P4. Despite having a time penalty, there is a very, very decent gap behind him, which means, as things stand, BLT Leeroy will take home the Drivers World Championship, and arguably
obviously the
Constructors as well.
Yes, the Alfa Romeo boys and the Racing Point guys are the only ones that can catch Leeroy, but obviously Leeroy and CallumUltra, in terms of Renault Racing Points, pretty much a 1v1 fight, so you'd like to think whoever wins out of those two will sort of win the Constructors. The fly in the ointment was going to be the Alfa Romeo boys, but I don't think they're far enough forward.
Ideally, you needed a Vader to be in a podium position with an Ellis, around about where he is now, a sort of a 6, maybe a little bit higher in P5 to bring him as many points as possible. But Leeroy,
but don't forget, guys, it's not going to be confirmed as they cross the line. We've still got any incidents to look over. I mean, thankfully, touch wood, I haven't seen Leeroy near enough any other cars to have anything submitted against him, but we can never say never.
A soft confirmation as such.
It's Blocky, fastest lap, 33.1. Yeah, it's just really weird. There's just no pace from CallumUltra right now. He's really struggling. He's eking out a gap, but I would have thought he'd be threatening the purple lap a little bit more.
You can see Blocky's just pitted and his tyres 1 lap old. Always going to be pushing for the fastest lap award. Are these pros or something? Hi Sutty, good to see you in here. No, they are. They're not. They are regular drivers. They are handpicked by myself to race in my league, and so far are putting on a phenomenal performance. You're joining us at the minute. It's the final race of the season, and as things stand, BLT Leeroy in P4 will be taking home the Drivers World Championship. That is obviously barring any penalties or anything else that may come our way. We've obviously got to wait and see if there's any incidents to be reported, anything that may potentially upset the points tally. But it seems like things are starting to settle down a little bit. It's a bit close between Flecky and Snacks, but I think the tyre life difference is keeping that at bay, it must be said.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that may hurt CallumUltra. I say he needed the win. He's ticked that box, but he really needed fastest lap, and he hasn't got it. I mean, it's all irrelevant at this point because Leeroy's P4, but... in order to have a chance, he needed fastest lap, really. But obviously, it's going to be very, very hard to be quicker than Blocky right now, who's got the youngest tyres on the track.
He does have that time penalty, but so too does Blocky behind him, and I don't think he's going to be closing that big a gap.
I don't think he's got enough laps anyway.
No.
Still a 9-second gap with 1.5 to go.
And I think with the incidents that we've seen today, or should I say the lack of incidents, I think we can say with some certainty that Leeroy is going to be taking home both the Drivers and Constructors Championship for Renault. But we're going to ride on board with CallumUltra then. The final lap of the United States GP, race 10 of 10 in the very first ever Bluefoxx F1 League. I've got to admit, guys, it's been pretty special to put this on, to pick the drivers and to see everybody enjoying the season as much as they have done. Not 100%. Just the drivers, but all you guys that have been here watching, tuning in every single week as well. to see all the championships unfold. It's been pretty special. It's taken a lot of planning.
It has.
A lot of effort, and long nights have gone into penalty reviews and all that sort of thing. But
and don't get us wrong. We
love
even though we're saying that CallumUltra hasn't done enough, we are not by any means diminishing his achievements. He's had a phenomenal season. He's joint leading with 4 wins. Both him and Leeroy will have 4 wins after this. He's had the most pole positions at 5. He's also been close in the fastest laps. He's had a couple of fastest laps. He's had a phenomenal season. Not to mention, don't forget, he joined 1 race late. So he's done 9 races, where the majority of the field has done 10. So he's been a very, very phenomenal addition to this league. I can't speak highly enough of him.
He has been.
And he's really had to make Leeroy work for it.
Considering that he came into the league a few races late. Here he comes then, round the final corner. Your United States GP winner, Mr. CallumUltra, takes home the win. Snacks in the McLaren. Again, a late arrival in the season, taking up that McLaren seat. Great performance as well. He takes P2. Flecky P3, but your championship leader crosses the line at P4. Ladies and gents, I can say with a high degree of confidence, BLT Leeroy is your Drivers World Championship. I mean, we're going to be confirming it after all of the potential penalty reviews have come in. But CallumUltra, he's done everything right. But so too has Leeroy. MK2 Ellis crosses the line. P6, a great drive from him considering he was P15 on the grid at the end of qualifying. Vader as well comes round to take P7. A great season for him. VXR, he does have a penalty though. Will he retain P8? Yes, he will. Mellow cover comes
Mellow's
round
a little
in
bit
9th.
far away. And Mercy will take the last point for P10, I believe, because Agent behind him has a penalty.
Indeed, Agent, the final driver across the line. Wow.
Not a good day for the Red Bull boys, though. They ended up 12th and 13th. That's unfortunate.
Wow.
Yep, hats off, gentlemen. Phenomenal season.
Wow. Wow. What a race. Wow. 10 weeks. 10 races has absolutely flown by.